Welcome into another episode of Tailgate Talk SEC. I am Will Thomas. We have got the quarterfinal of the College Football Playoff Recap coming at you right now. So it's Thursday night. Ole Miss just beat Georgia once they got the stage on the field, off the field, three more times again. And I'm going to do this pretty quickly because with the portal already opening, things are moving really, really fast. So we're going to go through every single game. If I'm talking fast, I'm sorry, but we have got a lot to get through. So going back, chronologically, the same order I previewed these in, Miami beat Ohio State 24-14. I took Ohio State to win this game, and I took them to cover. They were laying 9.5. And what Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor were able to do in this game, it was exactly what I thought they had to do. Right, because Mesidor had 2 sacks. I think Ruben Bain, he at least had 1.5 or maybe even 2 also. Like, those two guys, they had to account for 3 or 4 sacks, and they did. And you saw Miami, like, with that pressure, they were really able to limit Ohio State's deep passing ability. I mean, Smith obviously still got his. I mean, he had 157 receiving yards, but it wasn't as consistent, right? And it wasn't as dangerous. And, I mean, when you have Keontae Scott picking off a screen and going back to the house, it helps a lot, too. But, I mean, the difference in the running game, Miami ran for 153 yards on 4.1 yards per carry. Ohio State only ran the ball for 45 yards, less than 2 yards per carry. Like, those trenches for Miami, they stepped up in a major way. And when you get into the College Football Playoff like this, and you have dominant trenches, there's really not a game that you can't win. So Miami, even though they kind of had to really sneak in to the playoff after dropping the games to Louisville and SMU, there's no reason that they can't go on a run. There's not, because of how good those trenches are, how strong they are up front, because having 2 game wreckers on the defensive line, I mean, they're game wreckers, right? They can take over a game by themselves. And that offense, even though I don't really like Carson Beck that much, they're game planning it where it's very easy for him, where it's quick release throws within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and just letting it go and letting Mark Fletcher tote the rock. Like, even though I don't love Carson Beck, that offense is functioning well enough to be able to outscore the other team because of what Miami's D-line is doing. So Miami can win a championship. They really can. And they get Ole Miss next round. We'll talk about them in a little bit here, but Miami is very dangerous. And then here's a game that was pretty boring. The noon one today, Oregon versus Texas Tech. I was really fired up for this game. I thought it was pound for pound, like a lot of people did, the best matchup in really this round of the playoffs. 23-0 Oregon. So, I mean, I took Oregon to win. I took them to cover. I wouldn't have ever told you they won by more than 8. I mean, Texas Tech offensively, Oregon just shut them down. Only 215 yards for Texas Tech, 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and 2 picks. I mean, Oregon's defense they just played incredible. An incredible all-around showing from their defense, obviously shutting out Texas Tech. I mean, the Red Raiders defense played really, really well too. David Bailey, Romello Height, they had great games. It's just that their offense, I mean, what was the stat? I forget what it was, but they ran like 7 or 8 plays through the first 20 minutes of game time. Like, it's not sustainable for a defense to be able to play at such a high level when they're on the field 90% of the time. It was never going to be sustainable. Baron Morton just didn't have a very good game, 18 of 32 passing with 2 picks. They couldn't really establish that much of a running game. They had 1 explosive from Jacoby Williams. That was just about it. Oregon just dominated this game. And they're another team. Like, before this round, I thought, Oregon was one of those teams that not a lot of people are really talking about yet, because, they haven't really done a whole much that's overly impressive. They just lost to Indiana. Oregon can also win a title. This defense is so good. They're getting healthy at receiver with the pair of tight ends, and then all the 5-star guys out wide they have with Dante Moore. I mean, this passing offense is ridiculous on paper. We haven't quite seen them put it all together in electric fashion against a great team, but they're getting there. And getting there and getting hot at the right time, a lot of the times is really all that it takes to win a championship. So Oregon, I think, is incredibly dangerous, and it was a bummer of an ending for Texas Tech. All right, this team was so fun to watch all year. Only had the 1 loss at Arizona State, but that was without Baron Morton, and then to kind of just come out flat in this game. Looked like you never really had a chance. It's a bummer of an ending, but it was an awesome season for Texas Tech. Winning the Big 12, getting a bye in the playoff, a massive season for him and McGuire. So I think that the expectations at Texas Tech kind of will be revised, and I expect that we see them back here pretty soon. But it is a bummer of a finale for the Red Raiders, given how their season went, getting a bye, all that. Yeah, I have to talk about it. The Rose Bowl. Indiana beat Alabama 38-3. Now, I did pick Indiana to win this game. I also picked Bama to cover. Now, the line was not 35 and a half. It just wasn't. It was 7. It was 7 to 7.5. This was just an all-time demolition. I mean, 22 to 11 first downs in favor of Indiana. Total yards, 407 to 193. Passing yards were relatively even. Indiana was 192. Bama was 170. Rushing yards, 215 for Indiana. 23 for Alabama. 23. This Bama team, man, I mean, the inability to form any semblance of a running game all season it's beyond me. Because we know how talented those players are. And we know that the coaching staff isn't a disaster of a staff. Like, they're smart enough, like they had this team in the playoff. It just never got going. And Ty Simpson, he was beat up. He didn't have a great day. I liked what I saw from Austin Mack. I did. I think he's got a really bright future at quarterback there in Tuscaloosa, but Ty Simpson just didn't have a good day. This Indiana team played incredible. You could focus on the negative of being of Bama. I'd rather focus on the positive of Indiana because this team, man, they broke the bye week curse. They're the only team coming off a bye to win this year or last year. I mean, they just absolutely dominated. And I wasn't sure because of their roster talent not being good. I brought this on my preview. I still don't think they can win a championship. I still don't think that they can because the roster difference, the talent difference, eventually it's going to catch up. And I wasn't sure if it would catch up in the Rose Bowl. I'm willing to plant my flag and say it will catch up to them either in the semifinals or in the championship. But this Indiana team is awesome. Signetti is awesome. You saw that post-game interview on the field and everything. Like, that team is so together. Their fans are... It's an awesome ride for the fans. It's awesome, and it's really fun to watch. So I'll be cheering for Indiana. I will be. I just don't know if they can really get it done with the roster composition that they do have. And for the discourse about Alabama not deserving a playoff spot, I've overdone this, debate. I mean, I've made my case clear all the time. It's like, there's not a better option. Notre Dame was there. Sure, you can say all you want about them being closer, but then you're doing the hypothetical win thing that you get mad at all the SEC people for doing. If you want to say hypothetically Notre Dame will keep it close with Indiana, that's great. But people who want to be anti-SEC can't just go with hypothetical close games as a reason why, and then get mad when SEC people go hypothetical wins on you. You can't have it both ways. Notre Dame did not deserve a playoff spot. BYU was not in the field and lost their way out. It was Bama's spot. They won their first round game, and then they lost to the best team in the country. They lost by 35, but we're acting like losing to the best team in the country is some horrible cardinal sin. That's all I got to say about it. I've exhausted my argument there. Let's move on to the last game that just wrapped up after several stage malfunctions. Ole Miss and Georgia, 39-34 Rebels. This game, I said it live to my roommate who was on the couch not watching, and then my other one who came downstairs afterwards. Like, I think this is the best game I can remember watching in the sport in a really, really long time. 473 total yards for Ole Miss compared to 344 for Georgia. On the ground, it was decently even. Ole Miss ran for 111, Georgia for 124, but Trinidad Chambliss, man, threw for 362 and 2 scores. He was 30 of 46 passing. Keywan Lacey ran the ball 22 times for 99 yards and 2 more scores. Harrison Wallace, what a day for Harrison Wallace. 9 catches, a $156, and a touchdown. The sequence of plays that Trinidad Chambliss made, I think it was early fourth quarter, where it was the scramble around, shovel it to Keywan. Put his foot goes out of bounds. Then the next play, Dalen Everest coming off the edge. He runs a marathon loop, lobs it up to Keywan Lacey, who takes an absolute shot from a tractor, effectively, hurts the tractor, and gets the first down. And then the rollout hitting the post to Harrison Wallace. Like, Chambliss is the most electric player that we have left in the playoff. He is. And Ole Miss's offense, it might not be the best offense left in the playoff. I think Oregon's is better than Ole Miss's. It's the most threatening. It's the most dangerous, if that makes sense, right? Because of what these guys can do when the play breaks down, what they can do explosively. And Ole Miss's defense, they gave up 34. I know. It looked better than I thought it would. It did. I kind of thought Georgia would be able to hit 40. I didn't think that they'd force a turnover. They forced a fumble. Like, Ole Miss's defense, it's not great. It's good enough. And all you need is good enough, because if your offense, if Chambliss, Lacey, and those weapons can give you 30 plus, you're going to always be in a good spot to win a game. Like, Ole Miss, they get Miami next week, and Miami will be favored in that game. I would imagine. The line's probably out. I'll look as I'm talking to you right now. And I'm not going to be overly shocked by that. We'll see what the number is. Let me get this number real quick. Hang on. Because, Ole Miss versus Miami, I talked about Miami in the trenches, how I think they have the ability to go win a championship, which is definitely true. Okay, yeah, Miami is laying 3 over Ole Miss. It's just 3 flat right now. I think it's a perfect line. We'll see what happens. I'll be cheering for Ole Miss, so I might pick Ole Miss emotionally. But we'll get into all that in the preview episode. But Ole Miss, man, what a season for them. It's so good to see this team winning games in the playoff after Lane Kiffin left them with Pete Golding. And for Georgia, second straight year where their season ends in the Sugar Bowl. It's brutal. I thought that Kirby and that whole Georgia staff really had a massive coaching edge over Ole Miss in this game. It didn't seem like it. It didn't feel like it. Ole Miss came ready to play. They earned every ounce of that win, and that was just such an incredible game. So that's it. That is the recap for the playoff quarterfinals. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want transfer portal stuff, I will be doing all of it. I'll be doing the best that I can right now. So thank you guys so much for watching this video of Tailgate Talk SEC. I have been Will Thomas, and I will see you next time.